Sir, on behalf of the Department of Commerce, DG Vaishnav College, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, and the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, we welcome you to the Taxpayers Awareness Lecture Series number 1 on the income tax. So, I request our head of the department, Dr. J. Jayasankar, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible, Rakesh?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Today's lecture session on creating awareness among taxpayers is being organized by the Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce and the Department of Corporate Secretaryship, DG Vaishnav College, in association with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I have immense pleasure in welcoming Shri G. Kannan, IRS, Assistant Commissioner, Income Tax Department, Government of India, Shri Biswarup Basu, CMA President, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Shri P. Raju, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Shri Murthy, CCM and Chairman, Journal and Publications Committee, Shri Venkata Subramanian, Chartered Accountant, our Principal Dr. S. Santhosh Baboo, my colleague Professor S. Seshadrinathan, Dr.Prabha Rajagopalan, Head Department of Corporate Secretaryship, and all the participants on behalf of the PG and Research Department of Commerce and on behalf of myself. I would like to give a brief introduction about the Department of Commerce, DG Vaishnav College. It is one of the oldest departments of our college. It was started in the year 1968. And in the year 2018, we completed 50 years. We celebrated the Golden Jubilee in a grand manner. We had organized a program for 2 days, and the inaugural function was presided over by the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri Banwarilal Purohit. The department offers BCom, MCom, MPhil, and PhD courses. So far, we have guided more than 400 MPhils and 100 PhDs. The department also is one of the biggest departments in the college, with a student strength of around 2,000, both in shift 1 and 2, and a staff strength of 40 plus. Last year, we had signed an MOU with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India to conduct crash course on GST. 3 batches of students have successfully undergone the course. And of course, today we have tied up with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India to organize a seminar on taxpayers, creating awareness among taxpayers. And I have immense pleasure in welcoming each and every one of you again. I still remember the days when we used to visit the income tax department in Nungambakkam, Chennai, for getting the ITR forms, which we would fill up manually and then hand it over at the salary ward counter. The returns would be processed manually by the income tax department, and any refund due to the taxpayer would come in the form of check, maybe after 6 months or so. Around 2004, I think income tax department introduced e-filing of returns. From then on, we have been filing returns online. All that we do is that we visit the income tax website, then download the ITR forms, fill it up online, and then upload it. Then you get an acknowledgement immediately. The acknowledgement is normally to be posted to the Central Processing Center, CPC, Bangalore. But some of us also do e-verification of the returns through our bank account online. If you do that, then you don't have to send the acknowledgement to CPC Bangalore. And within a period of 3 to 4 weeks, the returns would be e-processed. And in case you are eligible to get refund, the amount will automatically come into your bank account. And that is how it's being done now. And of course, every year we used to file our returns by July end. And for the financial year 1920, however, the income tax department has given us time till November end in view of the COVID pandemic situation that is prevalent in the country. And moreover, we have not received Form 16 from our college office. So we need to have Form 16 to be able to file our returns. Of course, there is one more way that is available for us. We can access Form 26AS by visiting the income tax website. That also I have tried, even that has not been updated. So without either 26AS or Form 16, it will not be possible for us to file our returns. Of course, we have time till November end, and surely we will be getting Form 16 from our college office maybe in a week or two, and we will be able to file our returns before the end of November. I think with these introductory remarks, I once again I welcome each and every one of you to today's lecture on creating awareness among taxpayers, and I hand over the proceedings to my colleague Mr. Rakesh Shankar. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful welcome address. Sir, we had a request from our past president, CMA Balbinder Singh, to commence always our institute proceedings wherever we do with a Veda Parayanam. So, Professor Seshadrinathan, for the benefit of the world and for the globe and for the pandemic situation, and our motto of the institute is Tamasohmar Jyotir Gamaya, and the motto of our college is Satyam Param Dhimahi. We draw the reference from the Vedam and the Upanishads. So, Professor Seshadrinathan, for the well-being of the entire globe, the world, the nation, and our college, will render slokas. All of you can be seated in your places and pray for the well-being. Over to Professor SSN.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananaham Tva Ganapatihim Vamake Kavim Kavinam Vavastravastavam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anashanvan Nodibisi Dasadanam Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishage Bhuroginam Nidaya Sarvavidyanam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sadashiva Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram Apara Karuna Sindhum Yanadam Shantarobinam Shri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudhanakam Kanchi Vasayadhe Shantarubha Idimake Tanno Chandrasekharendra Prachodayade Satyo Jhatam Prapatyami Satyo Jhataya Vai Namo Namaha Bhave Bhavenadi Bhave Bhavasvanam Bhavodbhavaya Namaha Vamadevaya Namo Jyeshtaya Namo Sreshtaya Namo Rudraya Namo Kalaya Namo Kalavikaranaaya Namo Balavikaranaaya Namo Balaya Namo Balapramadanaaya Namo Sarvabhulmanaya Namo Manonmanaya Namaha Agorebhyo Tagorebhyo Goragorebhyaha Advebhya Sarvasabhebhyo Namaste Astu Rudrubhebhyaha Tatpurushayudne Mahadevaya Dimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayade Ishana Sarvavidyanam Ishara Sarvabhutanam Brahmadipadi Brahmanodipadi Brahma Sivome Asva Sivom Namo Hiranyabhagave Hiranyavarnaya Hiranyarupaya Hiranyapati Ambikapati Umapati Pashupataye Namo Namaha Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Trem Tagaya Tripuram Tagaya Trigalagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Uttinjaya Sabbe Suraya Sata Shivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha Shri Rama Rama Ramedi Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanamaranane Vasudeva Vasudam Devam Kamcha Chanuramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Buddhir Balam Yashodedi Mridvayadu Marokada Ajatyam Vatpurudhum Cha Anumasmana Bhave Asadoma Satyamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Harihi Om.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that in another short while we'll all be returning to normalcy by this positive vibration. Thank you so much, sir. May I now request our principal, Dr. S. Santhosh Baboo, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, one and all present for this lecture, awareness lecture on taxpayer. I am very happy to be part of this lecture. with the Institute of Cost Accounts of India and the Department of Commerce, Department of Corporate. We have our people from CA Institute, President Biswarup Basu, Vice President Raju Iyer, and the Chairman VNS Murthy, who are coordinating with our faculty members, Head of the Department of Commerce Jayasankar, Head of the Department of Commerce Shri Seshadrinathan, Head of the Department of Corporate Prabha Rajagopalan, where these three departments are one of the biggest department in our institution. And also we have the speaker, resource person speaker, and also a IRS officer in the rank of Assistant Commissioner from Income Tax Department, Dr. Kannan. So combining all these people today on Sunday, we are gathered here to hear the awareness. We are going to know about awareness of taxpayers, the lecture series. The beginning itself, the head of the department are told that we have not received the Form 16. Previously, the Form 16 are issued by the Secretary of the college so that all work can be done by the college itself. Now it is not like that. The Form 16 will be issued by the PO to the JD office. So this is not issued not only for Vaishnav College, it is not issued for no other colleges also, I am glad. So we will be, so these are the things when you go for centralized one. But at the same time, when there is a delay in the centralized mode, they will talk to the income tax department and say that we are lagging in giving the Form 16, so they will get the time for us. I think Jayasankar will not be having any problem in getting the Form 16. See to that it will be given in time and will be done by the Vaishnav College as per Vaishnav. So taxpayers, everybody in the country is a taxpayer, directly or indirectly, whether it may be income tax or whether it is GST, whatever may be. I think here we are talking about the income tax. In the income tax, most of the people they doesn't know about what the tax, how the tax is calculated, how they are paying the tax, etc. They will give to the CA people or to the outside organization to develop the tax in olden days. 5 years before, 6 years before, the month of February comes, it will be a very hectic day for us, where we have to collect all the resources, we have to fill up everything, and we have to do it. But in the present scenario, it is not like that. Once if you give all the data, once it is entered, while filling the data, they don't want to get the data. I find that I came from MS University, while coming that Form 16, signing authority itself, myself, I got the Form 16 for last year and I have paid the tax also, for which I have given some documents like my HRA, or that is documents like LIC, medical, etc. that I have not had now, but already it was stored in the system and it has been taken by the income tax department. So once if the content is verified, we don't want to verify again. Not only regarding this, we have a lot of options like some percentage of tax may be reduced if you have any special children in your home. At olden days, every time you have to attach a form, every time you have to explain to the officer stating that I have this child, that child, and then only they will accept that form. But in the present scenario, once it is verified that you are in this category, means the next year, once the next year we found it is not difficult to us. But in spite of all these things, the income tax system is not much. There is no good awareness among the general public and also given to the learned people. So every learned people should know the login and username. They have to submit the data and they have to file the returns. That is the success of the story. That will be the success story for the income tax. And also our Vaishnav College, we are trying before starting this thing, we are discussing about the students community. What are the things to be done for the students? So definitely our Vaishnav College will strive very hard, to give a quality education to the students, not in the name of numbers, when the students enter into the campus, we will be given an opportunity to do any courses, like whether they can go, they be a part of CA Institute, they can be a part of ICWA, they can be part of any UPSC exams, they can be part of NCC, they can be part of NFS. So we are making the students in a multi-fascinated way, and also we are concentrating more on multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary way. So these type of education we want to give to the students. So that also we are working hard. In the near future, our paradigm shift with respect to higher education is completely going to change, where it will be focused on more than the knowledge rather than the bookwork. So slowly we are going to move to the next era of education, where we are going to have the students have to have an ability to think, ability to write, ability to deliver the content on their own, all which is going to come. So definitely our Vaishnav College, BG Vaishnav College, is go will be leading the other institutions in the higher education paradigm. Once again, I like to thank the CA Institute for coordinating with our departments for conducting this program. Our departments are research-oriented department. Our department of strength is the teacher. We have very good teachers in all the departments. So with these few words, I like to thank all you for giving an opportunity for today's program. Thank you very much. Definitely, the people will be benefited because of this lecture. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presidential address. You have highlighted the vision for the college to move towards professionalism. Thank you so much, sir. May I now request our institute president, CMA Biswarup Basu, sir, to deliver the inaugural address and inaugurate the workshop. CMA Biswarup Basu is the president for the current year. He is an alumnus of the South Point School from the Kolkatta. He has been in the council for the second term 2019 to 23, and he has been occupying several key positions in the Institute of Cost Accounts of India for past 2 decades. And he has been contributing to the students' welfare, training, and facility committees. May I now request sir to deliver the inaugural address. Sir, please.
A very good afternoon, very good morning to all of you. Captain Dr. Santhosh Baboo, Principal DJ Vaishnav College, Dr. J. Jayasankar, Head PG and Research Department of Commerce, DJ Vaishnav College, Shri G. Kannan, IRS, Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, respected beloved CMA P. Raju Iyer, Vice President, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Dr. K. Chiranjeevi A.S. Murthy, Central Council Member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Professor S. Seshadrinathan, Associate Professor Commerce, Dr. Prof. Rajagopalan, Head Department of Corporate Secretaryship, DGBC, CA N. Venkata Subramaniam, CMA Rakesh Shankar Ravi Shankar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, DJ Vaishnav College, distinguished guests, my professional brothers and sisters, my beloved students, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. It is my proud pleasure and honor to welcome you all in this Taxpayers Awareness Lecture Series 1 on income tax. On behalf of the Dwaraka Goverdhan Vaishnav College and the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone present here with us. It gives me a great delight to welcome Sri G. Kannan, IRS, Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, for being with us today. I warmly welcome CA N. Venkata Subramaniam for joining us today for today's lecture on reforms in income tax, taxation and assessment procedures. Ladies and gentlemen, taxation is the means by which a government or the taxing authority imposes or levies a tax on its citizens and business entities. From income tax to goods and services tax, taxation applies to all levels. The central and state government plays a significant role in determining the taxes in India. To streamline the process of taxation and ensure transparency in the country, the state and central governments have undertaken various policy reforms over the last few years. One such change was the Goods and Services Tax, which is the tax regime on the sale and deliverance of goods and services in the country. Goods and tax services tax is India's biggest indirect tax reform, which started on 1st July 2017. Goods GST has opened up tremendous opportunities for cost and management accountants. It is founded on the notion of one nation, one market, one tax. The GST aims at free flow of goods and services and cuts the complex multiple taxes that has been in existence since India's independence, and this fits well in the government's motto of maximum governance and minimum government. As you all must be aware that the government of India has made all income tax appeal faceless with effect 25th September 2020. Unveiled by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in the month of August 20, the faceless assessment of tax will honor honest income tax payers in the country. Now all income tax appeal ranging from e-location of appeals to e-communication of notices, e-verification, e-inquiry and e-hearing will take place online. There will be no physical interface between the taxpayers or their councils and the income tax department. The taxpayers can make submissions from the comfort of their home and save their tax time and resources. The Income Tax Department has already rolled out pan-India faceless assessment facilities for all taxpayers from August 13. The Government of India is hopeful that the faceless system will ease compliance and widen the tax base. We at the Institute are moving in the same school of thought and ideologies as our government has thought of contributing positively in the field of direct and indirect taxation. The Institute conducts regular seminars, webinars on different topics of GST, customs and direct taxes for updation of knowledge of its members and students. The Institute organizes a national seminar on taxation every year covering various issues of taxation front of the country. In many of the seminars, senior government officials from commissioners and ministries were invited as chief guests. Seminars are being conducted across India on 1st July every year to mark the day as GST Day. The Institute has released a number of handbooks and guidance notes, including revisions on GST topics such as anti-profiteering, ITC, GST audit and annual returns, GST notifications and compilations, e-way bill, works contract, impact of GST on MSME sector, GST on exports, GST on education sector, GST on service sector, GST on cooperative sector, GST on real estate, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vishwas, Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019. In custom, the Institute has released handbook on insight into customs procedures and practices. In direct taxation area, handbooks on topics such as TDS, international taxation and transfer pricing policy, cooperative society, exemption under IT Act 1961, insight of assessment including e-assessment and Vivad Se Vishwas Scheme 2020 has been released by the Institute. The Institute is conducting certificate course on GST and advanced course on GST covering audit, assessment and appellate procedures. The Institute has been providing continuous input in the form of representations on the matters related to direct taxation, GST and customs to the CBDT and CBIC Ministry of Finance. In addition to the above, Institute is releasing a fortnightly tax bulletin for members and other stakeholders, which consist of important articles, circulars, notification, case laws, etc. Our institute is also providing corporate training to different corporates, government undertakings, educational institutes, etc. We have also launched crash course on GST and taxation for undergraduate students of colleges and universities, which is very popular among students. I would like to inform you that with effect from 2nd October 2020, the Institute has started the admission process for its two newly launched advanced courses on taxation, advanced courses on GST audit and assessment procedure, advanced course on income tax assessment and appeal. The Institute has also started taking admission to the 8th batch of certificate course on GST fourth batch of advanced certificate course on GST, advanced certificate course on TDS income tax, and advanced certificate course on filing and filling of income tax return. I request all members and other participants who are interested in any way of the courses to visit the taxation portal on the website of the institute for admission link and further details. With these few words, I once again welcome all our eminent guests and speakers and look forward to fruitful deliberation and interaction. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you so much for your wonderful address. You have highlighted on the faceless assessment and recent taxpayer-friendly initiatives. The main objective of having this program is to take the message of the government and the department to the people. So that is why we have brought in the IRS to talk on these areas. Thank you for inaugurating the workshop, sir. Thank you so much. May I now request our CMAP Raju Iyer to deliver the keynote address. CMAP Raju Iyer is the Vice President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India for the current term. He has been serving abroad in various public sector companies in Mauritius, and he moved to India as a practicing cost accountant. He has been associated with the institute for more than 20 years, and he has been training the students. And he is a corporate trainer and a very known person. He is always known for his words. Good day. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good day to all the participants and eminent members. Respected Captain Dr. S. Santhosh Baboo, Principal, DG Vaishnav College, and respected Jayasankar, Head, PG and Research Department of Commerce, and Dr. Prabha Rajagopalan, Head, Department of Corporate Secretary, and our Honorable President, CMA Biswarup Basuji, and my colleague in the Council and Chairman for Regional Council and Chapter Coordinating Committee and General for Management Accountant, Dr. K. C.H. AVNS Murthy sir, and our eminent Regional Training Center from Assistant Commissioner Shri G. Kannan, Department of Income Tax, and our CAN Venkata Chartered Accountant, and Professor Seshadrinathan, Associate Professor of Commerce, and respected participants. It gives me great pleasure to be amongst you on this important occasion. As I was telling earlier that I am an alumni of the DG Vaishnav College doing the PUC at that time, and I am very happy to be associated with the college. As our president has highlighted, we have done a lot of programs and a lot of things, and we had a MOU with the college also for conducting the various programs under this. As our president has highlighted, we have done a lot of initiatives for conducting a lot of programs, especially on various aspects. Now we are going to start the program on forensic audit, stock verification, which are all short-term courses, which will be very much useful for the students and the participants, so that they will be able to have the full knowledge and able to enter into variable consultancy services or for employment and all that areas. Especially, we have now launched one course on data analytics. Today, data analytics is gaining a lot of significance and importance, especially in the faceless assessment or wherever the area, the data is very much important, and analytical skill is very much required for the members. So the data analytics course also will be providing excellent opportunity to students and other participants. And the Taxpayers Awareness Program is jointly organized by DG Vaishnav College, Department of Commerce, and our institute. And why the Honorable Principal and our President has highlighted what is a GST, what is a face assessment, all those things in detail. So what is the purpose of this Create Awareness Program? The tax system seems to be aimless, seamless, and faceless and painless. So the scheme has to be reaching the masses so that the public will be able to utilize all these things, whatever the services provided by the government and authorities, so that it will reach the people. And the prime minister are just people to introspect and come forward to pay income taxes due to them to build Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we know why the Atmanirbhar Bharat is important, why we will be able to reach 5 trillion economy. In spite of this COVID-19, whatever the setback we are having, we will be able to move with the full force, full stream, so that India will be a leading country economically, spiritually, and all aspects. And with the launch of the tax charter, taxpayer is assured of fair, courteous, and rational behavior. If you take it 1 or 2 years before, if you are getting a notice from Income Tax Department, or if they are calling for the inquiry, you always will be shivering and will think that what is going to happen, how much funds I will be losing, and all those things. Today, it is not going to happen. It is, you are not going to see anyone in the face, and everything will be automatic. So you will be able to have a confidence that if you are paying the taxes correctly, if you are maintaining the records accurately, absolutely there is no worry, and everything will be going on a smooth way. As principal has highlighted, and whatever the forms you are submitting, it will going automatically. Same thing will happen in the faceless assessment. We don't have to worry about any inquiry or any this thing. Everything will be recorded, and it is totally, we will be able to fearless and painless. The purpose is the banking the unbanked, securing the unsecured, and funding the unfunded, and honoring the honest. As it has been highlighted, whoever is a honest taxpayer, they'll be honored. And for example, somebody who is having not having the bank, if they are going to pay the income tax, they'll be opening the bank account to get the refund and all those things. So it will be definitely it will be security and providing a lot of confidence and resources to the public. And faceless appeals will be available across the country from now it is available. And our honorable speaker G. Kannan sir and Venkatraman and Murthy sir will be explaining in detail how the system is going to work, how we will be having all the information and everything. As in Tiruvallur has said that the tax collection should be people friendly and the tax department should be easily approachable. It is definite from the above measures of the government that we are moving towards friendly, transparent, and developed economy. So it will be giving us a for the especially for the students and the young participants a good opportunity to be a consultant, be able to advise the MSME sector, and especially the MSME sector which needs guidance, who will not have the real input or resources to engage a full-fledged accountant or full-fledged chartered accountant or professionals. So it will be once you know it, and you will be to approach the MSME sector where you can provide them the consultancy for advising them and how this will be working, how they will be able to move forward, how they can be concentrating on their business instead of spending time on maintaining records and worrying about taxes. So I'm very much happy that I'm able to associate with this and thank CMA Rakesh Shankar for giving the opportunity, who has coordinated the program. We are untirelessly and able to bring lot of resource persons for the whole series of the programs. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very powerful day and good health and happiness. Jai Hind, Jai Sri Ram. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech. With pride, I can say that most of our staff members have received the certificate of appreciation from the Income Tax Department for their compliance and holding their heads very high. So we have been tasting the transparency measures that has been given by the Income Tax Department in the last few years. And in the years to come, I think it will be, the information will reach more people and it will be more friendly also. Thank you so much, sir. May I now request our resource person, Shri G. Kannan, IRS, Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, to deliver his resourceful address. To introduce Mr. G. Kannan, Sir hails from Pandruti near Kadalur, which is known for the dolls, which our Honorable Prime Minister has been speaking in the last Man Ki Bharat also. And Sir is from a very humble beginning. He joined in the year 1994 after having a graduation in law and post graduation to the department as an inspector of income tax, and he has risen to the level of IRS. And today he is an assistant commissioner in the training institute in Chennai. I need to really thank sir for accepting our invitation at a very short while. We have been requesting many commissioners, and finally they said Kannan sir is a right person because he has been training the IRS people in the faceless assessment area recently, so he'll be the right person. So thank you, sir, for being with us today at a very short notice. Over to you, sir.
Respected principal, respected HOD, and eminent speakers and dear participants. At the outset, I want to thank the college, the principal, and the coordinators who have given this wonderful opportunity to interact with you on behalf of the Income Tax Department. As rightly pointed out by the earlier speakers, we have a legacy with respect to taxation. Buddha said that the taxation should be done like a honeybee, means that the taxation process should be helpful to both the flower and the honeybee. So literally the department, the income tax department as on date wants to execute what our forefathers have observed with respect to the taxation. The government is very specific about the concept of minimum government and maximum governance. With that ideology behind their everything, they have introduced this faceless assessment. And with start with, I want to tell that earlier there were two jurisdictions called personal jurisdiction, means that if the person name starts with some A, B, C like that, there was personal jurisdiction. And for smaller towns like Kadalur, Viluppuram and all, there was territorial jurisdiction. Now there is no jurisdiction at all. That word has become redundant now. Now it is entire India is a one unit. The very purpose is to eliminate, or we can say to preserve the reputation of the department. So hereafter there is no human interface. Exception is central circles and international taxation, where the assessee or the authorized representatives will be allowed to interact with the assessing officers. So then next objective is the transparency and efficiency. Now it is real time, means that if a notice is generated in the database, in the ITBA, we call it as ITBA, it is served immediately. Earlier we used to search for the assessee, whether he resides in a particular address or that address like that. Even in some cases we resorted to service through officials also. That situation is no more now. Now, the moment we initiate, the moment we send the notice, it is being served on the assessee. And again, it increases the efficiency of the department. Means that in case of non-cooperation, in case of non-service of notices or letters or pre-assessment notice, the assessee may not respond, and the department will be forced to pass the assessment under section 144. That leads to unnecessary appeals, and again it will come back to the assessing officer for remand report, and it takes the precious time of the assessing officer and the appellate authority as well as the assessee. Now that possibility is reduced. And the functional specialization, now we have 4 units with respect to e-assessments. We have 4 units. Assessment unit, it will be supported by the technical unit, verification unit, and ultimately the review unit. So with all the support, the assessment is completed, and wherever the assessee disputes the decision of any unit, it will be referred to other units so that a collective decision is taken by the department. So functional specialization is there. If a particular officer is technically sound with respect to case laws, he will be kept in technical unit. Some investigation authorities will be kept in verification unit, and review unit. Some senior most officers will be kept in posted in verification as a review unit, where the final decisions will be reviewed and ultimately justice will be rendered to the assessee. And of course, it leads to ease of compliance for taxpayer. The assessee need not appear before the department, or he need not send the authorized representative to the department. Wherever he is, he may reside now in America, or he may travel to somewhere else. From there, he can respond. At different stage, he can respond. Means that he may miss the chance before the assessment unit. If the matter goes to another level through the national agency, that is NAAC, he will get another opportunity. So even if he misses the opportunity at a particular point of time, he can gain in another situation. So that is there for the taxpayer. The complaints will be open. That is at any stage he can perform his compliance. Improve in quality assessments. So now I told you that 4 wings of the assessment unit, or 4 assessment unit with 3 limbs will take a collective decision. So there is no question of the possibility of going to appeal is now reduced drastically. Expeditious disposal of the cases. Earlier, when the assessing officer decides the matter, it ultimately goes through the appellate jurisdiction, goes up to Supreme Court, and it takes years to decide the matter. Sometimes, because of this time gap, the tax recovery officers will be forced to dispose the property of the assessee consequent to the attachments. So, if the Supreme Court or the higher court decides the matter in favor of the assessee at the later point of time, what happens to that? What will happen to that sale transaction? The assessee may have a sentimental attachment with the immovable or movable property. If it is lost, if it is sold by the department in the process, then we cannot the assessee may not get back that property. So that possibility is now reduced. Now the decision, the latest case law may not be available to the assessing officer. Now the technical unit will be supplying those case laws to the assessment unit. Like that review unit, ultimately the review unit will give the latest development or latest things available on record to the assessment unit, and ultimately decision will be taken. There is a proverb in Tamil, there is a poem in Tamil. இந்தியாவில் வாதியும் இறந்து போவான், பிரதிவாதியும் இறந்து போவான், வழக்கு மட்டும் இறப்பதில்லை. So in civil matters, it takes sometimes it takes 10 years to decide the matter. If you go by this expeditious method of e-assessments, definitely the unnecessary appeals will not go to the higher authority, higher appellate forums. So now let me share one slide to you. This is a taxpayer. Is it visible, sir? Is the slide is visible, sir?
Sir, it is visible.
Slide is visible, sir?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
This is a taxpayer charter. I got it downloaded from our income tax website. See, just for perusal of the participants, I just wanted to share it. If you see that there are 14 duties to the department. So earlier we know that there were duties, time scheduled to the assessee. If he has not complied with those time limits, the penalty is leviable. Now, the Act has given some limits to the department. If any violation is there, if any shortcoming is there on the part of the department, the responsibility will be fixed on the authorities of the income tax department. So this is an interesting part, is a novel development. India is the 4th country to recognize the right of the taxpayer. Australia, those countries, few countries have recognized it. India has has made a leap in this regard. If you read it, see this first duty: fair, courteous, and reasonable. So the department should be courteous and should reasonably treat the taxpayer and the authorized representatives. Treat the taxpayer as honest. Earlier, the view was that all the taxpayers, they conceal something. That was the view. Now, this code, this charter says that all the taxpayers should be treated as honest, unless there is a reason to believe otherwise. And we know only in 3 occasions we invoke those clause, under section 147, where the department has the material, we go for reopening the assessment. And in another two situations, that survey and searches. Other than these three areas, other than this what you call field or areas, we have to treat the taxpayer as honest. Sorry. Provide timely decisions. These five will clearly convey the purpose why the department has introduced too many wings: assessment unit, technical unit, verification unit, like that. So it gives a timely decision so that the assessee can be convinced with the decision of the department. And then respect the privacy of the taxpayer. It's a very, very interesting that this has been recognized as fundamental right in Article 21 of the Constitution. Right to privacy is there even for the what you call habitual offenders. That has been recognized in before the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So the same privacy is now available to all the taxpayers. We are not supposed to encroach or invade the privacy of the taxpayer. Only in two situations we have the authority: search and survey. So earlier, the survey power was with the assessing officer, and before going for survey, he has to get the authorization from the joint commissioner or additional commissioner, that is the range head of that income tax office. Whereas now, even for survey operations under section 133A, we need the permission of the Director General of Income Tax, who sits in the headquarters of that region. Okay. So maintain, and with respect to that TDS surveys also, we need to get the permission of the principal CCIT or the CCIT TDS. So now the provisions are very stringent, and you cannot just like that invade the or encroach the privacy of the taxpayer. Again, that RTA is there. If you see that 8, we can call it as duty number 8, maintain confidentiality. The department is not supposed to share the information with outsiders, others, unless it is as per law. So now this code further says that the authorities are accountable to their actions, accountable for their actions. So reduce the cost of, see the 14, reduce the cost of compliance. Assessee ultimately incurs all the expenditure, tax complaints, expenditure, everything he is incurring. More or less, is the only source for our system. They are the pillars of the economy. There, that cost with respect to the complaint should be reduced. So these are the 14 directions to the department. Now, if there is a violation with respect to those duties towards the department, the SC very well can enforce it. And these are the 6 duties to the taxpayers. He must be honest and compliant. Law protect only the honest people and the auctions done in bona fide belief. Just like that, he cannot, even nowadays, even in some cases, people are giving some bogus receipts. So slowly, those attitudes of the thing will be discouraged. They will understand the development in the department. They will also cooperate. So to get the protection of this charter, the assessee must be honest and compliant and be informed. The assessee must be informed. So he is expected to be aware of his compliance obligation under law and seek help of the department if needed. So there is no question of ignorance of law. He cannot argue that I don't know law, I don't know the progress, like that he cannot argue. So he must be aware of the development, aware of the provisions. So another very important is why we are resorting to the scrutiny, just to have a threat, so that the assessee will not some assessee may resort to tax evasions. So for that purpose only, to discourage that quality only, we have this scrutiny system. So to get the protection of this code, the assessee must keep accurate records. So hereafter, there is no question of subjective decisions. Means that earlier the assessee or the authorized representative used to interact with the assessing officer and convince him based on the materials, that like the subjective satisfaction of the assessing officer is now eliminated. So everything will be based on the material on record. So only decision will be, it will be objective decision only. So we must be very careful with the records. Even if you get some gift from your close relative, immediately you have to get some confirmation from the donor or creditor, like that. We should prepare that, keep it prepared. We should not start, because now everything is time bound. You cannot prepare for the assessments after you get the notice under section 143(2). So the assessee must be clean to get the protection of this charter. Next is respond in time. See, all the units, I told you, all the 4 units have the power, have the right to report to the NEAC to initiate penalty proceedings in case of failure on the part of the assessee to respond to the notices sent by the department at various point of time. So with regard to pay in time, so everything should be done in time. Advance tax should be paid in time before the 31st of that previous year. So if self-assessment tax is paid and there is a possibility of levy of interest under section 234A, like that, to get the full protection of the code and the department and the government, the assessee must deliver his duty in time. So let me show one more slide, or otherwise I will complete. If time permits, I will go to another slide, because very little time is available to me. So the
Sir,
the
you have
very
got
purpose of the
time.
how much time I have, sir?
10 minutes is there. You can proceed.
Okay. So I will complete the other heads, and then I will go to that another slide, sir. Okay. I should not take the time of other eminent speakers. So the very purpose of the department is to protect the innocent people, protect the honest people. As rightly pointed out by our principal, the chairman, in response to the complaints by the assessees, send a certificate of appreciation to all the people, all the assessees. They need not pay huge amount. They may be a salary class assessees. Even if they file the return of income in time, it will be what you call, considered as compliance, and there is a certificate of appreciation from the department. So some people are thrilled when they see the certificate from the department. It is a honest way of respecting the honest people. As I told you, honor means that if you are respected properly, that is also honest. I told you earlier, there is no invasion of privacy, only in the extreme situation, that too with the permission of the highest authority of the department of that region. I told you, for simple 133A, officer, what you call, an action in Nagarkoil under section 133A requires permission of the DGIT who sits in Chennai. it takes it eliminates the aspect of bias. Earlier, that there was a thread. If there is a spoiled relationship between officer and assessee, there was a question of bias. Now it is eliminated. It has to go to the DGIT. And TDS also, the decision should be taken by principal CCIT or CCIT TDS. Now, as observed by a previous speaker, there is a scheme called VSV, Viva Se Viswas. So we need to reduce the appeals. And many times, many government departments have been criticized by the Honorable Supreme Court as the biggest litigator. So the government should reduce the litigation. Instead, the government becomes part of creating too many litigation from the higher court. It consumes the valuable time of the higher courts. So to reduce that, to discourage that aspect, the government has brought this VSV scheme. Even the search cases, depending on the tax component, even the search cases have been given the protection under this scheme. So penalty, prosecution, and interest, everything is waived. So the government harness gives an opportunity to the people who wants to come out of the litigation process. So recently, during the Corona period, the government of India has directed the department to issue all the refunds below 5 lakhs immediately. And we have been directed not to issue any notices. Even 148 notices were not sent to the, even the proposal could not be sent to the, this is internal matter. Even then I want to share why, how the department is, or the government of India is so sensitive with respect to the sentiments of the assessees. So no proposal could be sent to the CITs or additional CITs for their approval for reopening assessment under section 147. So even letters prejudicial, hurting the sentiments of the assessee could not be sent during this period. So this is how the department wants to honor the ethical standards, honest taxpayers. So with regard to the other facilities started by the government of India to ease the filing of thing and compliance with respect to compliance by the assessees. Now return filing is online. No question of sending a hard copy to the department. If there is a refund claim, and even if the records, if the database shows some artificial demand which would have been reduced long back or would have been paid by the assessee long back, the assessee can very well dispute that demand. If there is no response from the department within a limited time, the assessee's claim will be allowed and refund will be issued to the assessee. So right to dispute has been recognized, and even recently pre-filled return of incomes are coming. So based on the information available in the system, many columns are filled by the department, and only thing the assessee has to do is that he has to fill in the blanks. That's all. So again, all tax payments are now online. TDS certificates verification can be done by the assessee online. He can view the credits online. So TDS, even TAN number, PAN number, everything is now online. And recently, I also got the benefit of getting this technological development. If you have Aadhaar, you can get the PAN number immediately. Within 2-3 minutes, you can get your PAN number. But if you are not satisfied with the photo available in the Aadhaar, you can very well get it updated with filing a separate application before the NSDL or UTI. Okay. So this is how the things are made very easy, so that assessee will feel that the department is working for the taxpayers. And one more thing is ask, Kendras are there. See, earlier, the assessees or authorized representatives will be searching for the assessing officer with whom a particular tabal has to be filed. Now there is no such search. You can very well go to the art center, you can file the letter, it will go to the respective officers automatically. So these are the things, developments done by the department for the benefit of the taxpayer. Let me share one chart prepared by the department. It will be particularly it will be useful for the students who are preparing for examinations like ACS, CMA, and CA. Sir, coordinator sir, is it visible, sir, this slide?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Sir, this is available in our website. Actually, this will clear if you read the entire circular issued by the department in September 2019 and the latest updation. It will be little it may look little complicated, but it's not complicated. If everything works well, the assessee will feel the comfort. See, this is a national e-assessment unit, is the highest authority. All the communications are sent through this NEAC only. Decision may be taken at various level, but all the things should move through this entity only. So this is the authority which issues notice under section 143(2), the starting point for the assessment procedure. So it will go to assessee will respond within 15 days. Again, it should be a response to the NEAC only. Then the case will be assigned to a assessment unit. Means that a assessee who resides in Kashmir, his assessment may be sent to the southernmost CCIT, that is CCIT REAC, that is Trichy. Trichy is the southernmost thing, who has control over Madurai, Thrissur, Kochi, Kottayam, Salem, Coimbatore, like that. This is southernmost CCIT REAC. So it will come to the assessment unit of that CCIT. So the assessee may not come to know who is assessing officer who is handling that assessment. So it will come to assessment unit. Kindly have it in mind, the assessment unit will not sign the assessment order. It will be signed by the officer who is sitting there in NEAC. So all will be recommendation only. The final decision or the final order will be signed, digitally signed by the officer who is sitting there in the NEAC. So assessment unit just it performs its duty. That's all. It is it takes care of one assemble, what you call one part. Ultimately, everything will be assembled at level at NEAC level, and decision will be taken. So you can see that assessment unit, it will send to verification unit if any information is there to verify. A technical support will be obtained from the technical unit. That technical unit means that case laws and all. This like commission, it will verify whether the claim made by the assessee is in order or not. This will be verified by the verification unit. Then everything will come back to the assessment unit and draft assessment order will be sent. See, kindly see, this is draft assessment order will be sent to the NEAC. So if there is no decision is taken prejudicial to the assessee, immediately the NEC will be NEC will finalize this order. You can see this finalize this order and send the notices and order to the assessee. If it is prejudicial to the assessee, it will provide opportunity to the assessee. He will respond. Based on his response, the final order will be passed, or if he disputes it, it will go back to the assessment unit again. If necessary, it will go to review unit also for its advices. So, so finally, it will come once the order is passed. It will come here only. We see the territorial officers. Okay, I told you the jurisdiction officer with whom actually the pan jurisdiction lies. So for all other purpose, for follow-up action, for recovery purpose, everything, the matter will come back. Once the assessment is completed, the matter will go to the assessing officer uh, for his follow-up action. Even now, even the penalty power, earlier that as per the original circular of September 2019, there was a power to levy penalty like 271(1)(c) and 271(o), 271(a), 270(a), like that, like penalties are there. Those penalties were with the assessing officer, that is jurisdictional assessing officer. Earlier we called as residual officer, with whom the residual jurisdiction lies with. Now even that power has been taken out. Now that penalty, levy of penalty, right to levy of penalty is there with the NEAC. So for example, for reopening of assessment, for handling the audit objections, all those residual powers, residual actions will come back to the assessing officer. And rightly pointed out by earlier speaker, as per the original circular, that appeal will come back to the CIT appeals, under whom that particular jurisdictional assessing officer works actually. Now that has been taken. Even there also, appeal also, faceless appeals have come. So with this, actually, I want to complete my speech. So see, this is don't think that the department brings too many changes. So it is a prerogative of the government. If the government feels that this should be the change, we should come out of the conventional approach. So it is our duty to execute the directions of the government, and we will ensure that the system works well for the benefit of the taxpayer as well as the nation. With this, I want to thank the principal, HOD, other speakers, and particularly Mr. Rakesh, who has given this wonderful opportunity to interact with you all. With this, thank you. Jai Hind.
Sir, thank you so much for your detailed presentation on the faceless assessment and the taxpayer charters. So, which is of recent introduction in the department. There is one question posted by Mr. Balaji, which is received by email. I think the question is posted on the screen, sir. Still, many people are evading taxes. Is there any possibility of the income tax department to use artificial intelligence to identify the same? What would be your opinion on this, sir?
Definitely, we are getting information from various sources. Of course, artificial intelligence is there, and through the system-based information only, we are verifying the things. And particularly, for example, if any transaction, immovable transaction exceeding 30 lakhs takes place, it comes to the department immediately. The system takes into cognizance of that information, and notices under section 143(2) is issued in those cases. And interestingly, we have many agreements with the other nations also. You may amass wealth in Sweden or in USA. You may not pay tax there. That information will come to us. Thus, he may argue with those taxing authority that I am paying the taxes there in my homeland. Like that, they may argue. They say no. OECD cases are there. We get the information from the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden. Australia also supplies periodical information to the department. So we are gathering, and now it is system based. The system will call out. For example, I should have covered those things earlier. When we issue notice under section 148, all the cases will be, all the returns filed in response to one notice under section 148 will be taken for scrutiny. Now that artificial intelligence verifies whether the assessee has reported the income which has been found by the department as suppressed or concealed income. If the system is satisfied that the assessee has utilized the opportunity and has offered in the return of income filed in response to 148, it says that the case need not be taken for scrutiny. The honesty shown by the assessee after receipt of 148 has been recognized by the system. So definitely we are progressing. We have a very good people who are sound in systems. So we are guided by them. Ultimately, we are guided by the artificial intelligence also.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
answers, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Rajesh, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request CMA Dr. Murthy from Hyderabad to deliver his presentations. Murthy, sir. Are we audible? Murthy, sir? Okay. I think we'll move on to the next speaker. We have got Venkat Subramaniam.
No, Mr. Murthy.
Murthy, sir. Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We will share your presentation. You can start, sir.
Yeah, please. You are able to hear me, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A small glitch.
Yeah. It always happens, sir. Hope the screen is visible, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Shall I proceed? Shall I proceed, Mr. Rakesh?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, please, sir.
A very, very good morning to all of you. Thanks for giving me a chance to be with you today to share some of my thoughts on the subject of taxpayer services. To start with, finance or accounts or commerce have a role in universe, being Biswarup, our president, being rules like Raju Iyer, gives us Santhosham, your principal. We have Prabha means light, here Prabha madam of Commerce Department, with the blessings of Shankar twice, Venkat, Seshadri, Kannan, and all of you. This I am addressing all of you. I hope I have covered everybody. Now, say if you go back to ancient taxation, we have Kalidasa referred about Raghuvamsha in Manu in Manusmriti, Kautila we cannot forget, Sastra, and Sultan Shahis, where from hail, from Hyderabad. They are very, very good at taxation or accounts. Next, we have modern taxation from 1922 onwards, before independence, and we have our own act in 1961, our own, full of course, copied from 1922. Next, budget, which comes on 20th February every year. Now it is changed to March 1st, thanks to BJP. For your finance bill, becomes act. It becomes integral act of 1961, able supported with 1962 rules. CBDT is the king of the taxation regime in the country. It gives many instructions, directions. And then we have Supreme Court judgments, High Court judgments, tribunal judgments. Probably this is the 9 areas where we cover every year. Again, budget, bill, finance act, rules, and CBDT and judgments. This is syllabus. Very, very briefly, tax on income in a year of a person is income tax. Next. SSC. See, normally taxpayers or any lawmaker, when he cannot defend correctly, he will defend very, very aggressively. Anybody liable to pay income interest penalty is SSC. Any proceedings for assessment is SSC. Any default will also become SSC. Next. This is very, very dangerous definition. Normally, simple English says that person means we go by male or female. But here it is individuals, Hindu undivided family. AOP means association persons, body of individuals, and artificial persons. They don't leave anybody in the world. Societies, charitable trusts, partnership firms, corporate societies, and companies. This is what the definition of persons means. Means it covers everybody in the country. Next. Assessment year in previous year. It's simply the financial year, well known to all of you. Accounting year or income year consisting of 12 months, 1st April to 31st March normally is previous year. And since these people, IT people, assess the income next year, they call this year as a previous year. When they do only after accounting year ends. Since whenever they do, it's called assessment year. Next. Yeah, this is most important to decide the tax burden of any taxpayer. If you're individual, we go by period of stay in the country. Other than individuals, we go by control and management in the country. This is the most important aspect. Then how do you pay tax? Normally, you pay tax the shape of advance tax in 4 installments, starting from June to March. TDS is taken care by different agencies in the country. They do. If still the balance is left over, you have to pay through self-assessment tax, normally while before filing the return of income or before March possible. Then these are the 7 forms what we have got with us now in the country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Used by all the people, individuals, business, salary, trust, company, everything. These are now in the force, and they are very, very friendly also. Next. Yeah, these are most important duties, except for the current year subject to Corona. Otherwise, 31st is July is for returns of individuals. Tax height is 30th September along with company cases. International 30th November. But for the current year, it's 30th November for everybody. In all properties, according to my personal expectations, this will be enhanced, extended. Not an assurance from me, it is only guess from me. Thank you. If you are a defaulter, by not paying interest or by not filing return, you are liable for interest, and don't go for interest. Don't give chance to income department to leave interest on you. Next comes penalty. There are more than 60 sections which deal with penalties. If you are a defaulter by any chance in any of the sections, you will be liable for pay penalty. Don't give any chance to anybody. Next. Yeah. No, I am not trying to threaten any one of you, but there are 19 cases where one can be prosecuted. But normally they are very, very sympathetic. Unless if you are a very, very willful defaulter, they don't put anybody in the prison. Next. Yeah. These are the 2 important. One is for taxpayer. PAN is for taxpayer compulsory. TAN is for tax director. It is automatic process. 10 digital alpha digital number. Compulsory. If you don't apply or if you don't comply, you have to pay 10,000 rupees as penalty. Both PAN and TAN. Next. Yeah. These are the authorities who, what my friend Kannan is mentioning. CVD is the top apex body. They work together through their director generals, CCIT, CIT, IT, all commissioner, everybody. It is not necessary for us to know about them, but these are the people. What they do next? They do assessment. Normally, self-assessment means that is normally done by us. When we submit all our papers to the department, we calculate the tax liability, pay the tax. It's called self-assessment done by us. Suppose everything is found to be in order, these people will do summary assessment. They dispose of on its. They simply take care of the arithmetical accuracy with all provisions, and they do summary assessment. Next comes scrutiny assessment. Normally, everybody is afraid of scrutiny assessment because it will take care of all your details. Earlier, 100% every case is subject to scrutiny, but now only 3% subject to some criteria is subject to scrutiny assessment. It is time consuming. Of course, now faceless has come, it will reduce our time. Best judgment means When we don't cooperate with department people intentionally or by not cooperating with them, they will do assessment. It's called nothing but expert judgment. It will be normally best judgment from the angle of revenue only. Next comes reassessment. If my discussion or in the discussion of appellate assessing authorities, the assessment can be reassessed so that it will be more transparent and correct. Now, tax planning means not tax evasion. It's voluntary compliance. Please note that it's a fiscal law. Here you have to comply on your own voluntarily. No evasion, should not be an evasion. Only avoid by legally putting investments or anything such thing. You have to compute your income, pay taxes, file return in time, and response. Please don't run away. The moment notice comes, if you respond to him, he will be given best mark. Response to notice is important aspect of the any taxpayer. Next. See, you can plan taxation to avoid taxation, permissive as per law, purposive, depending upon your purpose, you can use planning, short range, long range. Any of these things can be resorted to you within the legal practice of the Act, Income Tax Act. Next. Yeah. Senior people like your principal and people will recall, it is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Once upon 1948, 47, 48, in India, the marginal rate was, highest rate was 97.5. Definitely that was the rate. If anybody tries to manipulate or tries to evade taxation, because no fool will pay 97.5 to the government of India, however good is the government. But thanks to Baby Chavan, thanks to Manmohan, thanks to Rajiv Gandhi, thanks to P.V. Biswarup, and last main big thanks to P.V. Sharamaram, who made it 30%. Please note that people say that we are paying highest in tax. No, there are many countries in the world which are charging more than 30%. We are one among few countries who charge less. 30 is the most reasonable. Please pay without fail. Next. Now, what is going to be added? The change is litigatorship to quote Mr. Kannan, litigatorship to listenable area. Earlier, it's all litigation oriented. Now they hear you. You are listenable. Then from inline, earlier we are making a serpentine queue to file letter of income. Your principal was sharing in the beginning a big line before the department. They were opening 100 counters and productivity is 0. But now we can do at our house. Instead of inline, now it's everything only online. Next question. Now, there are some key changes in the forms, which I have mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Please take care of them. They are very friendly. You can easily operate them. Now, whether good or bad, of course, really good only. These two departments, which never see each other in their lifetime for the last 50 years, have become now close friends. CBDTA versus CBIC. Now they have become partners in sharing information. Earlier, nobody was talking to other man. Officially, I'm talking. But now these departments, one is direct taxes, the other indirect taxes, have become close friends. They share information about you. So please don't take any risk. Added to this, next, banks. All banks in the country, whether government or non-government, have to give information to the department. So they get a lot of information from banks. My friends may recall that we are having once upon time 1/4. There are 4 conditions. You have to file letter of income 1/4. 1/6 then has come. Even if you have got telephone, now everybody in the country has got more than 2 telephones, and there may be around 70 to 80 crores of telephones in the country. 1/4 is gone. 1/6 is also gone. Now 1/3. What is 1/3? Next. Now, section 139 has got 7th provision. According to it, if you make a transaction of 1 crore, either in cash or account paycheck or check, if it costs more than 1 crore, you are liable to pay income tax. Year file return of income. If you incur 2 lakhs on foreign travel, you are supposed to file return of income. And if your current bill, electricity bill for annum increases to 1 lakh, you have to file letter of income. Details, the new forms indicate, show that you have to compulsorily talk about details of the directorship and your unlisted shares. Normally, nobody talks about directorship and the shares. Now we have compulsorily show these things. Then comes foreign income, foreign assets. What you have got in outside India, income as well as assets you should report. Now, these are the services what Mr. Kannan is referring. 4 divisions, 4 units, 14 duty charter, 14 for IT department, 6 for us. You see, return of income is very, very easy. Tax tools, they have got their own mobile application, iCar Setu. You got a problem? Contact them. PON, TAN, TDS, traces. The payment is very, very, very made easy. And they are making a game called Tax Exam. Means they will educate you. Next. Same thing is reflected in a different manner. For the year 2021, which is the current now, you can file e-file very, very easily with sitting at your table. If you have any FAQ, they will answer you. They have got several tax tools to calculate tax liability and exemptions. They will educate you. Aadhaar will be very, very easily linked with PAN. You can also calculate advance tax with their help. They will again give FAQ. TDS is a big headache for us, but it's a very big relief to the department. Any TDS application is met by very easily. Due dates are there. Please complete them. Don't run away from the file of income return. And they, as rightly just told by Kannan sir, PAN will be given 2 or 2 minutes. They are also educating you by tax tutorials. In fact, they were earlier publishing tax booklets. Now they are educating you tutorials. Now 26 says, this is what the earlier speaker, first speaker has mentioned about 26 says, don't wait for form 16 or 16A. Now, no need. It is 26 is a form maintained. Your account is maintained by department. Please note that point. Sometimes clients will tell us that we don't have income. But when we see 26 says, we find his full account. It is his passbook. It is his story. It is history. It is horoscope. Means be careful that I am not threatening any one of you, my dear friends. They got abundant information with them and they write cash payment made by you, cash deposit by you, and cash payments purchased by you, and cash deposits in current account, cash withdrawals, cash deposits, everything about you, they will watch you. They will take information. The AA is with the department, is abundant information. In fact, if really Department of Income Tax comes with all information what it has got, probably would have been more richer than anybody in the country. But staff is less with the department. They are not able to manage with the less shortage of staff. Otherwise, all of us would have been caught in the eyes of department. I'm not threatening any one of you. The system is so accurate with Department of Income Tax. They're not like earlier. Earlier, it's small jurisdiction, small facilities, small information. But now your horoscope, your account is with them. So take 26 days and go as per 26 days simply. Next. Yeah. Now, how to face faceless assessment. Next. See, the love letter from the department, I call it a notice, interface facelessly. Even they are interfacing us, asking us everything, but without showing their face to us, we reply without showing their face. This is structure of face assessment, procedure for penalty, appeal, communication, appearance before taxpayer, units, power to specify the process, procedures, faceless jurisdiction. As he was telling, from Colorado man may get assessed by Kashmir guy. Why? Because there is no need to go to department personally with a lot of records and a big timing waiting for the commissioner to invite us, go to him, meet him, convince him, show all the books. Now, no need to see anybody at your home, at your office. You can communicate everything through electronically. Now, one more. Next is, apart from these 8, they also allow to collect information from you: inquiry, valuation, assessment, rectification. Sometimes there will be mistake from our side or their side. It will be also rectified. Amendments to the notice and collection of tax, recovery of tax, revision of orders if it warrants, faceless effect of orders, approval, everything online. Did you get a notice from the department? No, nothing to it. Long gone are the days we were afraid of the notice. Now, in my original language, which is love letter, don't be serious, don't be upset. It's very easy to approach the department, provided you have got everything in your records correctly, perfectly. The advantage of electronic assessment is it is corruption free with due regard to my friend Kannan here, and it is paperless. It is less cost, less penny. You will not incur even single pay to go to Department of Income Tax. It saves a lot of time. The earlier we were taking information from cold storage to them. Now it is all cloud storage, no more cloud storage, and it is administered by two officials. Earlier, one man was taking assessment. Now it is two people. Best judgment will be useful to us. But next, it has got some disadvantages also. See, technical glitches are there. Documents, I have to, there are some restrictions on the documents, 5B like that. I have to upload all documents. They don't talk to me. They don't say, hello, Murthy, how are you? They will say, get me the documents. I have to upload. Uploading is not very easy because of technical glitches. Difficult explanation. For example, my brother, who is a farmer, sends money to perform his daughter's marriage in my house, and he will send me 1 lakh. I put that 1 lakh in my bank account. Kannan sir will ask, how did you get 1 lakh? I would reply to him. If had it been personal explanation, I would have told you that, sir, my brother has sent money through a messenger. This is the agriculture. This is the farming. I have deposited. I performed daughter's marriage. But here, such explanation won't work. They want only document that has to be uploaded. Probably they may not hear you, like we were having hearings in the person to person before the face. Now everything is faceless. Faceless means you have to have more number of documents. But document does not speak everything rightly. I always say to my clients that goals can be rewritten. You can change your goals, but not the books of accounts. Never change your books of accounts. Please maintain perfectly. And this is, I told in the GST seminar, everybody is unhappy with GST implementation. I said, don't raise voice, raise invoice. In GST, if everything in the country raises invoice, everything will be set right. Invoice means not only invoice what you prepare, integrate, notably, voluntarily. Both GST and income tax are voluntary action. Organizing all information, comply them by engaging professionals. Not that you do not go to professionals, or take some help, or take the help of department and be happy. And lastly, a big thanks to income tax. Thanks. That's all, sir. I am done.
Sir, thank you for your mind-blogging, very crisp presentation. I think we should call you before the income tax exam for the students and for the interview. The faculties who were attending, we were able to recapitalize the theories and the thoughts from what we say in the class. Very, very wonderful presentation, and your presentation was awesome, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll move on to the next speaker and then take up the questions. May I now request our Venkata sir to present his proceedings. Before moving on to Venkata sir, sir is a chartered accountant with CISA qualified with 15 years of experience. He is the partner in GPDS Associates Chartered Accountant firm. He is specializing in taxation and compliances. He has been a regular faculty in crash courses for CA Final and for CMA courses, and he has spoken in various forums. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shri Rakesh. Let me share my screen. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you. Faceless assessment scheme. I'll be touching upon on the practical aspects of the faceless assessment scheme, and more particularly on the do's and don'ts once you get onto the assessment scheme. As you know, it is implemented on 13th August. It was notified on 13th August 2020. So, which means that any assessment going forward will be only in this mode. Gone are the days when you will visit the income tax department for any hearing or submission of documents. So, going forward, mandatorily, you don't have a choice, but mandatorily, you will have to go through only the faceless assessment scheme. And what will happen to the all pending assessment, which is in various stages before this date? And CBDT has given a clear order saying that all such assessment proceedings would be automatically being transferred to the faceless assessment scheme. Number 2. And for what all types of assessment this faceless assessment scheme would apply? As Murthy sir has already explained, there are various types of assessments, starting from the self-assessment, summary assessment, which is done by the Central Processing Center, Bangalore. Then comes the scrutiny assessment. Then comes the best judgment assessment, where you file the return and you don't respond to a notice to the department, and where they can do an assessment on a best judgment basis. Or you don't file a return, they call for you to file a return, and still you don't respond to it. Again, once again, a best judgment assessment. And finally, thereafter there are reassessments where they will reopen the assessment which is already complete, and so on and so forth. There are survey, search and seizures, and transfer pricing related assessments. Among all this, only scrutiny and best judgment assessments are going to be part of the faceless assessment scheme. Now, who will do the assessment of faceless assessment scheme? Before getting into the process flow, Mr. Kannan sir has already briefed on the process flow. I just dwell a little more there. Before that, a few important features of this scheme. Now, it is going to be only a team-based assessment, meaning earlier when the your assessment used to be done by an assessing officer, your jurisdictional assessing officer. Now it will be done by a team collectively. So you can imagine the impact of such an assessment, assuming for a student where one exam paper would be corrected by 4 different officers. You can imagine what would be the outcome. For a person who is meritorious or who's honest person, need not worry about it. That is exactly the concept behind this faceless assessment scheme, where it is a great boon to a honest taxpayer. On the other hand, if you're dishonest, probably you will not have any further opportunity to influence or intimidate the assessing officer. That is the main objective of this scheme. So now it is going to be a team-based assessment. And what will be the jurisdiction? No, it is going to be a dynamic jurisdiction. Now I have listed down 5 parties to this assessment scheme. One is called the NEAC, stands for National E-Assessment Center. AU, VU, TU, and RU. These 4 are assessment unit, verification unit, technical unit, and review unit. These collectively 4, they roll up to a REAC, which is a regional e-assessment center. These are the 5 parties whom an assessee has to deal with. What are their job functions? We will see a little later. But these are the 4 parties who will be doing the assessment going forward. And whenever there is a case picked up for a scrutiny, to which assessing officer does it go to? As I already said, it is a team-based and dynamic jurisdiction. These case assignments will be done by the NEAC, and it is not going to be manual. They cannot pick and choose a assessment unit. It is going to be an automated allocation system on a random basis. And there was some question on whether artificial intelligence and all will be used in income tax department. They have been using this for quite some time. They have a tool called risk management system, which automatically picks up cases based on some red flags, where they will automatically send notices to the assessees asking for further details, which used to be manual. Now it is going to be automated. So all this AI and machine learning things have been incorporated in this case assignment. So it will go to that assessment unit based on the decision done by the system. Moving on. Now, what will happen to a personal hearing? Earlier, I had this opportunity to meet the officer. I can see him eye to eye. I can discuss. There could be formal discussion. There could be informal discussion also. I can present my case. I can present the assessee's case as an authorized representative, etc. And sign off the hearing note, and I can get an order either favorably or unfavorably. Now, what will happen to the personal hearing? Now, will there be an opportunity denied to the assessee taxpayer? The answer is no. He will still have an opportunity, but it will be done only via video conferencing. But it will be available only for certain specific circumstances, which the CBDT is going to list down. They have not yet brought down the those circumstances, they will be eventually coming with those circumstances. Only in those cases, you will have a opportunity to present an oral statement through a personal hearing. And whether you will be able to see the other side of the department, any assessing officer, the answer is once again no. They'll be able to see you, and you won't be able to see any of the assessing officer who's going to deal with you in those personal hearings. That is exactly the intention of this scheme, entire anonymity of assessing officer. So there is no room for a dishonest taxpayer, excuse me, no room for a dishonest taxpayer to intimidate or influence the assessing officer. Moving on, all assessment orders going forward will be passed only by the NEAC. As Kannan sir earlier said, you will not see an assessment order going forward which is signed by an assessing officer. It will be signed only by the officers of NEAC. This is once again to prevent or to encourage the anonymity of assessing officer. You will not be getting a chance to know who has done your assessment. But this will not apply for central charges and international taxation charges. What are these? Central charges are the ones which are performed by the investigation wing. International taxation charges, you know, all the transfer pricing related assessments. Apart from these two, all orders other than these two would be passed only by NEAC. And take it from me, this entire faceless assessment scheme, in my opinion, is a very bold initiative by the government and CBDT. This is going to be the game changer in the days to come. Now, who are the parties to this faceless assessment scheme? As I told you, there are only 5 parties other than the taxpayer who are involved in this entire scheme. The first and foremost party is the NEAC, National E-Assessment Center. And what is the role of this NEAC? It is very typical to a postman, where you will not be able to interact with all the other 4 units. You will be interacting only with an NEAC. Whenever they want to interact with the taxpayer, they will route it. They will pass on those communications only through a NEAC. So from a taxpayer's perspective, the department, a person in the department is NEAC only for the purpose of assessment. From the assessment team's perspective, the assessee can be contacted only through NEAC. They cannot independently contact the taxpayer. This is another scheme another feature of a faceless assessment scheme. Now each unit, as I told you earlier, AU, VU, TU and RU, review unit. What are the functions of these independent 4 units? Now, assessment unit is the one, as soon as you file a return, they will identify that are there any points or issues in this return. So that is the predominant function which they will look into. If at all there is going to be such points, they will raise that item to the NEAC, and they will request NEAC to ask the assessee, taxpayer, to provide some information. That is how the function process flow which will happen, which we will see in the subsequent slide. Now, predominantly their function is going to be identification of key points or issues which is available in the taxpayer's case. And further, they can analyze the materials which is being furnished with the taxpayer. They have the right to seek assistance from these 2 units. What are the function of these 2 units? We will see a little later. But they can take help of verification unit's help and technical unit's help for doing their assessment. Finally, once they are done with all the processes, they are bound to get a draft assessment order ready. This concept was not there earlier. There, in the old scenario, you will deal with the assessing officer. He will go through all the submissions made by the taxpayer or the authorized representative. Then he will make a assessment order. Most of the cases, you will not even know what the order is going to be. Now, that is not the case. The assessment unit is going to prepare a draft assessment order that will be provided to the taxpayer, which we'll see in the process flow. Moving on to the verification unit. This is one of the key unit in the entire 4 set of units. This is the unit which is going to do all the inquiry, cross-examinations, examination of books of account, your examination of witnesses, recording of statements. Everything would be going forward done only by the verification unit. Even your personal hearing, which you're going to opt, a video conference hearing, that will be done only by the verification unit. Moving on, third unit, technical unit. Now, these are the people who are sound in different domains. They have specialized skill set or specialized knowledge in their specific area of specializations. Now, these technical unit, they should be ready to provide any assistance to the other unit called the assessment unit in the field of, say, legal, any judgment decisions which are in favor of assessee, in favor of revenue. Those things they can highlight. Any accounting related support, forensic audit related support, any valuation related support, any information technology related support also, where the file size is too large and they are not able to punch and understand it, they will come into the play. Even any audit related assistances, transfer pricing, valuation related assistance, or any other matter, technical unit will be there to support the assessment unit. Lastly, review unit. The review unit's main job is to review the draft assessment order being prepared by the assessment unit. So as soon as this assessment unit AU prepares the DAO, does a draft assessment order, it will automatically flow into the, or it will come to NEAC and even forward to the review unit. Review unit, based on the facts and evidences which is available with it, or it can call for those details from the technical or verification unit. It will check the draft assessment order. It will see whether all relevant facts has been incorporated. It can even suggest modifications in that draft assessment order. Once those modifications have been suggested, the draft order is reviewed. It will send a detailed report to the NEAC. NEAC once again will review it. It will go back to AU for any further changes. So these are the 5 people who will be involved in our assessment life cycle in the days to come. Process flow. Though I've tried to make the flow chart as simple as possible. Now it all starts. NEAC, based on the taxpayer's ITR, he will issue a notice. This notice, please mind it, it will be only in electronic form. You will not get a physical notice going forward. It will be only in email form. And in addition to that, you will be sent an SMS saying that this notice has been sent to your email ID. And the taxpayer is bound to respond within 15 days. This 15 days is restricted. They cannot go beyond this 15 days unless and until you prove that there is reasonable cause that you need an extension. You have to apply. There is also a process where you apply for this extension of 15 days. Yes, they might provide that extension, but within 15 days, come what may, you will have to submit your responses to NEAC. So based on this response, NEAC, as I told you, based on random system allocation, will allocate this case to any of the assessment unit in the country. Please note that there are almost 30 REACs being installed as of date. There could be more also, but there is only one NEAC in Delhi, and there are various assessment units under each of these REACs. So NEAC will auto allocate to any of the assessment unit this taxpayer's case, and the assessment unit will go through the case of the taxpayer. When they need, as we saw in the earlier slide, when they need any assistance from the verification unit of the details of the taxpayer, they will once again will not go to the verification directly. They will go to the NEAC. NEAC will in turn ask one of the verification units to do the verification and get back to the assessment unit. Similarly, if there is any support needed from technical unit, same in the case of evaluation or audit, etc., once again assessment unit will go to the help of NEAC. NEAC will get in touch with any of the technical units, and this technical unit will get back to NEAC, and he in turn will go back to the assessment. So it is all up and down, back and forth the process flow. NEAC will ensure complete anonymity amongst these units. So each assessment unit will not know from which team this information is, this assistance is coming from. So finally, once it is done, the assessment unit prepares a draft assessment order, which will directly go to NEAC. NEAC will forward to one of the review units. Review unit, based on their evidences and documents available, they will do the review. They will also suggest modifications, what we saw earlier. Suppose they are suggesting any modifications, so they will submit a detailed report to NEAC. NEAC now, this is the most important feature of this entire faceless assessment scheme. NEAC now will decide that this draft assessment order has to be modified because the review unit has given a suggested change. It will go back to assessment unit, not to the assessment unit which it initially assigned the case. It will go back to a different assessment unit so that the draft order is modified without any bias. So there also they have ensured this kind of process flow. So NEAC will once again, for changing any draft assessment order, will assign this case to any other assessment unit other than the one which it originally assigned. That assessment unit will again go through the process. It will come back to review unit. If there is no change, it will go to NEAC. NEAC will say, yes, this is going to be the final draft. I'm not saying final, this is going to be in the final draft order. Now, this is the best part of this faceless assessment scheme, which was not available earlier to the taxpayer. Now, NEAC will send a show cause notice to the taxpayer along with the draft assessment order, asking him if at all there need to be any changes which you think are worthwhile, you can get back within such and such a date. Taxpayer, if it is very unfavorable, he can say that I have provided these details, but these have not been incorporated. He can write back to NEAC saying that this draft assessment has to be changed in these areas. So NEAC will consider those points. If found meritable, they will do the changes. Finally, final assessment order would be signed and sent to the taxpayer. This is the entire process flow. In order to change that assessment order, NEAC will not be able to do independently based on the taxpayer's information. It will once again go through the same process, which that is what exactly Mr. Kannan sir also was explaining. That is a flowchart which is going back and forth. So this is how the entire process flow will happen. The main feature of this process flow, taxpayer will not know who's the person sitting on the other side. Of course, the departments within the REAC also will not know to whom are they asking the assistance from, and to whom are they providing the assistance to. So once this entire process is completed, NEAC will issue the final order. They also will initiate penalty proceedings if required. Finally, after doing all that, they will transfer the entire file to the jurisdictional assessing officer. Now, please remember, earlier all this process was being done by this jurisdictional AO. Now, only after all the assessment is over, he is going to get the file. For what purpose? He will get it for the purpose of recovery and further processes. So he can initiate the penalty proceedings, he can initiate the recovery proceedings. So only for that purpose, NEAC will transfer all the files to the jurisdictional AO. There are certain situations, even during the assessment proceedings also, NEAC can transfer to assessing jurisdictional AO, but it is purely based on approval of the principal CIT or CBDP approval. Only on specific circumstances they can do so. Now, what has changed from the existing system to the new scheme? Just what all we saw earlier, just summarized into a simple table. Now, notice being sent to the taxpayer. Earlier, it used to be both through email. If you ignore the email, you can be rest assured you will get it one in the post also. Now, going forward, the physical notice sending has been stopped. So it will be only through email. So now you'll have to take more care as to how to maintain your email IDs updated. If not, then the department will not be held responsible. From their side, the notice has been deemed as served, and 15 days once it expires, you will not have any further opportunity unless it is otherwise proved to the department. That is point number one. Number two, the taxpayer has an option of appearing physically or also or can opt for e-proceedings also. In the earlier or in the existing regime up to 12th August, you had a choice. The taxpayer had a choice to go directly to the assessing officer and present his case, or he can choose yes in the e-proceedings tab in this income tax login portal. So by doing that, what will happen? He can submit everything online. Still, those data will go to that assessing officer only. So the taxpayer would know to which assessing officer these data were going. Now, as we discussed earlier, in the new scheme, everything is electronic. Not only electronic, everything is anonymous also. You will not know to whom it is being sent. In the existing model, assessment is being done by AO. Now it is a team-based assessment. As I told you, the teams are AU, VU, TU, and RU in coordination with NEAC. Earlier, the assessment orders and penalty orders are being issued by AO directly. Now, assessment orders and penalty recommendations will be issued only by the NEAC. Physically signed orders is what you used to get earlier by physically either digitally signed by assessing officer or physically signed by the assessing officer. Now it is going to be digitally signed by NEAC only. Only the officers in NEAC will be signing the assessment orders. The assessment rights were available to AO because from the beginning till the end of the assessment, he had the entire powers to do the inquiry and proceedings. Now it is all gone to assessing officer. It is only recovery and reassessment are kept with the assessing officer. All others have been shifted to the NEAC and the team. Critical aspect of the discussion. Now, being given everything is online now, so what we should ensure, do's and don'ts on the faceless assessment scheme. Now, everything is going to be written submissions. So now the assessing officer will not have a choice to see your body language or your informal discussion. Nothing is going to work out any further. Everything has to be put in paper. So now, since it is all going to be in written form, you will have to take utmost care in drafting the submissions, drafting the responses to the notices. Any small glitches or any paragraph you miss or any information which you miss to report there can turn against the taxpayer. So that has to be taken care. the most important point in the new faceless assessment scheme. Number two, the order will be purely on merit only. Gone are the days where taxpayers could influence the assessing officer or vice versa. You can get a favorable order, or you can make the assessing officer not to get into the other details of the issues. You can just see which is favorable for you. All those things are gone. It's going to be only purely on merit. As Kannan sir said, the quality of the orders is going to be very, very high, because not one person is going to see your case. It's going to be multiple persons, multiple teams. So everyone will be specialized in their own domain. So they will apply their skill sets there. They're going to do at their best of their knowledge and abilities. So having said that, the orders, the outcome of those assessments would definitely be a quality orders, and it will be decided purely on merit. So honest taxpayers need not worry. As long as they have all the data in place, they can be rest assured that these will be decided in their favor. That is where the technical and review unit will play a very essential role, because they are a specialized unit. If you want, for example, if you're going to upload a sale document which is in a vernacular language, say Tamil or Telugu, you'll be rest assured there will be persons who are specialized in translation to English or Hindi, will be sitting in this one of this technical unit, and they would get this done. So you can be rest assured the orders would be basically on merit only. So what it leaves to the taxpayer. So having said this, it will be purely on merit. In order to prove your merit, what you have to do, you'll have to retain all the evidences. The records and evidences maintenance will be very, very critical. For a business case, already the income tax law has given a condition saying you will have to maintain at least for 6+1 or 7 assessment years, 7 years. So if not more, you should maintain things at least for 7 years. If for a reassessment case, it will even go further. So everything is going to be electronic. All your bank statement which you get in your emails, ensure that it is not going to the spam mails. Ensure that you are going to save it properly. Please ensure that you maintain all these evidence and records properly and very periodically. Point number 3. This is the crucial part, because this is the only mode of communication of the department going forward. Email ID and mobile numbers. So there is no other choice for you but to keep it updated. All this time, your assessing officer, your authorized representative, or your chartered accountant would be holding his, using his mobile number or email ID on the behalf of the taxpayer. Please ensure that the taxpayer's details are updated in the portal. Now, the department is going to use all available email IDs which are available with them. You would have given an email ID at the time of PAN registration. You would have given email ID at the time of your profile creation in the income tax portal. You would have given your email ID and more contact details at the time of filing your ITRs or any other such situations. Your TAN returns. They are given powers to use any of these data. So they will be sending to all the email IDs. So if still you don't receive because of the technical aspect of ignorance in the technical aspect, the department will not be held responsible. It is as good as the notice has been served, and they would treat that you have not responded to notice, and what will happen? The best judgment assessment from the department side would happen. So ensure the best practice always would be, if you are always making your returns to an authorized representative, a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, yes, please ensure that you give both the data. There is an option in income tax portal profile is you have both your number self and you can have an authorized representative details also. So please ensure those part. Number 4, timely response is very, very critical. It's going to be they're saying it is 15 days, it is going to be 15 days. So in my opinion, by 15th day, midnight, I think the window would close for your submission. That is how it is going to be. So what you can do if you miss it on a genuine situation, yes, there are some other modes where you can write a grievance to the department. You can request for another opportunity for the notice to be served, but I'm not sure how the local, how the SOPs of the department would, work on that. But our responsibility as a taxpayer that we'll have to respond within 15 days. 15 days could be, might sound a little shorter time, but in my personal opinion, I think 15 days is more than sufficient, unless it's a very complicated case, a business case. For all other straightforward cases, where simple ITR cases, I think 15 days is a sufficient time where you can respond. Ensure that you respond within time, else department can use the best judgment option, which can be detrimental to the taxpayer. Lastly, everything is online now, so all this fake communications go left, right, and center. Even you have noticed that several thousand millions of people would have received that refund messages from the income tax department, which is fake. And we know that income tax department will never mention the value in the SMS. you have received rupees 45,000 as refund. Please click the link. All these are, it is fake in the prima facie look itself. And most educated people would fall for it, in fact, and not the other way around. So beware of all those fake communication. How can you be rest assured that it is only from the department? There is a new concept called DIN, which has been initiated by the CBDT. I think it's been there for the past few months. It's called document identification number. Any communication from the department in the form of notice or any data request, it will accompany with the unique DIN. So you can ensure if the DIN is available, it is from the income tax department only. This is one of the sample notice in the faceless assessment scheme. Please ensure that, see, now going forward, the assessment, the notices will have this header as NEAC. Only these are valid. The CBDT has given a clear order. Any notice which is going to be issued after 13th August by any other team or any order, those are void. So anything which is after 13th August has to be only routed through NEAC. This is a sample notice. Now, there are various e-governance practices. There are commendable e-governance initiatives which are done by the CBDT, which are really remarkable. One among them is the faceless assessment scheme, which we have seen so far. The centralized processing center installation and the ITR e-processing are one of the best, which, in my opinion, in my practice, which so far I have seen. Not mention the traces automation. The TDS and the 26AS integration has come a long way. Though there are small glitches still there, but 90% I think it is very, very useful, or very, the output of that is near to 100%. Now, moving on, the other initiatives which the government has introduced, 25th September, from 25th September 2020, all the appeal process which is lying with the CAT appeals, Commission of Income Tax Appeals, is going to be faceless. So like faceless e-assessment, there is an entire scheme which has been notified called as faceless appeal scheme. So like NEAC, there is going to be a NFAC, National Faceless Assessment Center, and there is going to be assessment unit, there is going to be appeal unit. So you will not know to which CAT appeals your case is going to go to, and all the similar process which has been defined for faceless e-assessment are more or less same for the faceless appeals also. So not to mention the ITAT, which is the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, they are very much online in these areas. Right from the 24th March when the lockdown was initiated, right, in exactly 1 month's time after the short break which they have taken, the tribunal almost across the country, bearing a few adjournment cases, they have started hearing the cases in WebEx online. Even today, or even, sorry, not today, even in the coming week, anybody can log into the ITAT portal. You can go through the WebEx details. You can even go through the sessions which is happening in the ITAT. So they've done a remarkable job. They have not wasted the time during the lockdown at all. So many cases have been here during the lockdown. And the reason why I'm saying this, they are already using the best e-governance practice which is available for them. So that is another initiative which is done by the CBDT. Grievance redressal. I'm not sure many are using this option in the income tax portal. Every income tax login has a grievance redressal option called e-Nivaran. Any smaller issues, any refund issues, anything, there are a list of things which you can ask them. So it's a very user-friendly grievance redressal where you can post your questions. In a matter of few days, you will get back the responses also. If at all they do not have answer, they will redirect that to your jurisdiction assessing officer. So you can meet your jurisdiction assessing officer having the response of the grievance redressal team. Based on that, where your things can move. So earlier, where we used to wonder, where do we go and approach for this case and this issue? Now it is available, everything in the online portal. Fourth is the compliance portal, where you get, there is something called a specified financial transaction, which Murthy sir has shown in this one of the slides. There is the other party is reporting against your name. Say, for example, you have been spending more than 10 lakhs in your credit card. It will automatically reflect in your 26AS. How? Because the bank would report against your bank. Now there is a compliance portal where you can go and submit your response saying that these are the information relating to the transactions what I have done. So those things are online. Not many would know, but it's available on the online and you are ready to access it. Very user friendly. There is a list of instructions how you can log in and access. Now, ATG. Now, this is another e-governance initiative which the government has brought in right from starting from this year, where and a charitable institution is like any other or any other entity. Now, going forward, whatever donations they're going to receive, they are supposed to file an online return, meaning against every PAN. So, what does it tell the taxpayer? A taxpayer should have a PAN. Anyway, for the purpose of donation, if he wants to claim the ATG deduction, he should have a PAN because he has to file ITR. So every donor now will be forced to have a PAN. Now, only if it is reflected in his PAN, like 26 days, only the other trust, the other party, the trust uploads in against his name, like the TDS return. Only then he will be eligible for the deduction. Now, this is a very great initiative because a lot of bogus transactions happen in ATG, those deductions claim. And several, since the scrutiny, the percentage of scrutiny cases are very, very lesser, several such transactions go unnoticed. Several such fake deductions claim go unnoticed. Now, this is one way to block those fake deductions. And now, lastly, the Aadhaar-based PAN. Now, as Murthy sir said, it is a matter of few minutes where you can get a PAN. You no longer you need to wait for 4 or 5 working days where you have to receive the PAN. They have even changed that physical PAN to e-PAN also. Now it is very much online. Number 5, rectifications. You have any rectifications from the processing, from the ITR which is processed by the CPC? Yes, there's an option available in your login itself, where within the time frame from the filing of the return, if you are not the time limit is not expired, the rectification option is available with you. You can apply for a rectification, and the department once again will go to CPC. They can review your points on based on genuinity of the claim. They can pass a rectification order. Finally, to end my discussion and presentation, the tax charter. Tax charter, as Kannan sir in detail said this, explained this. Now, this is nothing but a commitment from the department and also some expectation from the department. They expect a taxpayer to be genuine and honest. And if that is the case, the department is going to fulfill all those promises in the 14 points which they have told. Not only that, they have also made this very legal. They have amended the Income Tax Act also. They have introduced a section to bring in this tax charter. So going forward, there could be a situation where, like your preamble of the Constitution, where something is breached by the department, say, unfortunately, you can even have a legal recourse to get your rights and positions reinstated. So that is the benefit of this tax charter in practice. And that will be the end of my discussion. We can take up questions. And before that, I thank DG Vaishnav College faculties and office bearers, and also my fellow speakers for this wonderful opportunity. Over to you, Mr. Rakesh.
Sir, there is one question which has been raised with regard to the TCS. It has been posted in the screen, sir.
Okay, sir, can you give some information about the new TCS that is effective rule from 1st October? There are 2 TCS which has come in place. One is which has created a lot of hue and cry on the it is on the TCS on goods, sale of goods, which is 206C1H, if I right, where a taxpayer who is having a turnover more than 10 crores in the past financial year, and is going to receive consideration in the form of sale of goods from a buyer more than 50 lakhs in this year, then he is supposed to collect 0.1% as TCS. So that is in effect. And this rate 0.1 has been subsidized to 0.075 up to March, where altogether for all the TDS and TCS sections, they gave the 25% waiver due to the pandemic. So till March, it will be 0.075%. So that is a new TCS, which has created a lot of noise in the last few weeks.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Your session on the faceless assessment, we have got a lot of inputs. And there is one more question with regard to the e-commerce operators.
I think he's asking on the income tax. Are the e-commerce operators able to deduct TDS on payments made to suppliers? Yes, there is a new section called 194O, which was introduced, which is once again from 1st October, which is also in place. So all the e-commerce operators, I'm not sure with the threshold. I think it's 5 lakhs or something. Yeah, if it is going to cost 5 lakhs, they are supposed to deduct 1% as TDS from these suppliers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I think your session, it was wonderful eye-opener for all of us, because we need to go back and talk to the students on the faceless assessment scheme. Thank you so much, sir. May now request Dr. Prabha Rajagopalan from the Corporate Secretariat Department to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, you need to unmute.
I am Dr. Prabha Rajagopalan, Head Department of Corporate Secretaryship. I deem it a great pleasure to propose a vote of thanks. All that begins well ends well. On behalf of the management, principal, and faculty members of DG Vaishnav College, I express my gratitude to the expert speaker, Mr. G. Kannan, Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, for giving an excellent coverage on the government initiatives through reforms in income tax and assessment procedures. Sir, I'm sure your views are well received and assimilated. I extend my thanks to CA Venkatasubramanian, Chartered Accountant, for sharing his valuable insights about the parties in faceless assessment, the process flow, the change from existing to the new scheme, and the do's and don'ts in faceless assessment. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to CMA Biswarup Basu, President, and CMA P. Raju Iyer, Vice President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, for joining hands with us to conduct the lecture series on taxpayer awareness and for their gracious presence. My profound thanks are due to CMA Dr. K. AVNS Murthy, Chairman, Journal and Publications Committee of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, for an overview of the taxpayer services and for bringing us through his presentation a comparative analysis of the ancient taxation, the present, and the future. I express sincere thanks to our Secretary, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundraji, and Principal, Captain Dr. Santhosh Baboo, for being a pillar of support and encouragement in our academic journey. I'm grateful to Dr. Jayasankar, Head of the Department of Commerce, and Professor Seshadrinathan, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, for initiating and extending their expert guidance for this lecture series. I place on record a special thanks to CMA Rakesh Shankar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, for having conceived the idea and providing the logistic support for the webinar series. My special thanks are due to Roshan Kumar of 3rd BCom for his help in the successful conduct of this webinar. Finally, I thank all the faculty members, research scholars, academicians, students who are with us today in this program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you all.